1978, Moscow, USSR. 6-month-old Svetlana Mutko was peacefully playing with a rattle in her stroller when someone snatched her and carried her away. Her mother had left the stroller with the baby and gone to the store for just a few minutes. But that's how all women acted back then. The police arrived at the scene of the girl's disappearance, and the event was extraordinary. Half an hour later, passers-by found the abandoned stroller a couple of blocks from the incident site and reported it to the police. The initial theory was math. It was a typical domestic dispute, and the abductor was the father. Galina said that her husband left her only after learning that she was pregnant. Moreover, the former spouse had been in the hospital for 2 weeks. He was hit by a car on the street. Who stole a small child? Maybe a mentally ill person, or worse, a maniac. The detectives still remembered the story of a year ago when a maniac was operating in Moscow who had opened a hunt for infants. The case was incredibly high profile, and despite the fact that the authorities classified it ordinary Soviet citizens still heard terrible rumors. Police officers were now interviewing old women on benches and children in courtyards. Did anyone see which doorway the kidnapper ran into? One of the boys noticed a man running past with a baby in his arms. The police found this apartment. There was a woman, a baby girl, and a citizen in the apartment. The door was opened by a young woman with a baby in her arms. When Galina Mako saw him, she burst into tears. "This is not my girl." A day passed, and suddenly, the police received a message that a baby had been dropped off at a medical facility. Oh, hey, my God. A woman with a baby in her arms ran into the doctor's office without waiting in line, shouting, "Save my daughter." After examining the baby, the pediatrician came to the conclusion, a severe form of bronchitis. The doctor asked the child's last name, and at the same moment, the visitor ran away from the office, leaving the baby. Soon, police officers arrived at the hospital, and Galina Mutko, who joyfully shouted, "Yes, that's her, my girl." The doctor described a visitor who abandoned a child's slender young red hair as a special feature. At that moment, another report came in. Another child had just been abducted in Moscow. Irina Panchina went to the store, taking her 2-month-old daughter Lisa with her. She stepped away from the stroller for just a minute to join the queue. That was enough time for an unknown criminal to snatch the baby. 10 minutes later, the police received another report. A boy leaving the store was knocked down by a red-haired woman carrying a baby. Now the investigation was certain. Some woman with a maniacal obsession was trying to steal someone else's child.